Hey there, Iceberg here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm checking out the Simgot Supermix 4. What's cool is that they squeezed in 4 different drivers into these little IEMs. A dynamic, a balanced armature, a planar magnetic, and a piezoelectric one. Seriously, good job Simgot, they always come up with some wild engineering. I gotta say I'm a big fan of Simgot, because they put a lot of care into what they do. I remember when I tried out the Simgot EW300, I felt like these IEMs were a step up for the Simgot. And the AA500LM, this becomes my standard for clear and sharp sound, where every instrument sounds like its own things, but still fit together. Anyway, back to the Simgot Supermix 4, these are Quadrib IEMs, so you got a 10mm dynamic driver for the bass, a balanced armature for the mids and treble, and then a planar magnetic with a piezoelectric for the highs and ultra highs. This setup gives you a layered sound with lots of detail. Plus they look nice and clean, with a focus on being useful. The Simgot team really nailed it with this driver setup. I'm hyped to hear how it all sounds. So let's kick off this review. Okay guys, the Simgot Supermix 4 comes in a cool box with a shiny green design. On the front, you can see a layout of the inside of the shell, showing off the 4 drivers. The model name and the driver setup are also listed, along with the simple Simgot logo and the VGP award badge at the top. Flip it over and you will find the main feature of the model, a frequency response graph and some info about the manufacturer. Inside, the unboxing feels like a signature Simgot experience, similar to their other models. You get the IEM themselves, 3 pairs of silicone ear tips, a carrying case, a 2-pin cable, a little manual, and a quality certificate. The Simgot Supermix 4 has a simple design that is not too flashy. It focuses more on being useful than looking cool. The faceplate has a matte metal piece that's not too shiny, with a gold ring in the middle. It looks nice and clean, so you can wear this at home or at work. Inside, there is a white nozzle with separate channels for each drivers. And even though there are no side edges, you don't have to worry about the ear tips falling off, thanks to a little groove that keeps them in place. On the shell side, you will see the Supermix branding, right-left indications, and a recessed 2-pin connector for the cable. The Supermix 4 is designed for comfort, using tons of 3D ear scans to fit your ears perfectly. Each shell is super light, only 5 grams, so you won't even notice you're wearing them. They have a crescent shape similar to other models, but with some nice tweaks for a better fit. The inner part has a smoother angle at the top, which helps keep them in place even when you are on the move. The fit is really nice. They sit tight in my ears and seal well. Even with my small ears, they are comfy and do not stick out. They stay in place and don't slip even when I'm doing stuff. The sound isolation works well, despite several holes in the shell. It's amazing how Simgot did that. With the snug fit, I hardly noticed keyboard clicks or traffic. It was just a quiet background noise. Well done Simgot. The Supermix 4 cable is pretty good, better than the ones you get with previous models. It's made with silver plated copper wire in a special pattern covered by clear plastic. This keeps the sound clear and protects the cable. It's flexible, feels solid and doesn't tangle too easy. One end has a gold-plated 3.5mm mini jack plug for your devices. There is a metal splitter in the middle to adjust the length, and the other ends have ear hooks with collars to show the left and right. Basically, it's just a good cable and nice improvement over the usual accessories. The ear tips that come with Supermix 4 are the same ones found on many Simgot models. These are black silicone tips with a regular bore and come in 3 sizes. The silicone is pretty firm, so while they keep their shape well, they might be not too comfy if you wear them for a long time because they put a pressure on your ear canal. The good thing is, these tips don't change the sound of the IEMs at all. For this review, I'll use them since they are easiest option for this model. This set isn't easy to power. The Supermix 4 has a sensitivity of 120 dB and low impedance of 7 ohms. But don't let that fool you. It still needs a good amount of power to run those 4 drivers properly. Because of the way the drivers are set up, each one pulls a lot of power. If you use a common source like Android phone or a PC, the sound is quiet and flat, and you lose in detail. It sounds dry and doesn't have much energy. Things get better with the mid-tier sources, like the portable decks. You get a more detail, the Soundstage gets better, and the sound is more lively. Still, it doesn't get loud enough, and it feels like you're not getting everything the IEMs can do. Only when you use high-end sources, this set sound is best. Then you get a rich and lively sound that matches the frequency response graph I'm gonna talk about later. Okay, let's talk about the really cool things. How this sound? Remember, the Supermix 4 is a hybrid or really a Quadrib, since it uses 4 kinds of drivers. Before I get into what I think, here's a look at the graph. So, the graph looks pretty smooth, similar to 2019 curve. The sub-bass is a bit boosted, starting around 72 dB, which gives you a nice punch in the low end. It moves into the mid-bass smoothly, and the mid-bass chills a bit behind the sub-bass, so that sound doesn't get muddy. Mid seems clean, no weird dips or spikes. It goes up a bit around 2.5 kHz, which is supposedly to make the vocals and instruments clearer and more lively. The treble isn't as boosted as some might like, so it sounds relaxed and not too harsh. There is a small dip around 10.5 kHz and then a bump at 11 kHz, which might add a bit airiness and sparkle. Basically, the Supermix 4 have a warm but neutral sound with a strong bass. The mids are balanced, the upper mix make vocals pop, and the treble is kept in check. They are really dynamic with tons of detail and a very analytical sound. To me, the sound kinda reminds me of EM6L, but a bit better overall. Think about hearing a concert in a big hall. You got the drums in the front, then the strings, a piano, and in the back the bowed strings, cymbals and brass. It's airy, everything sounds separate, and you can hear each instrument. That's how the Supermix sound, controlled and precise. The sub-bass on the Supermix is deep, powerful and well controlled. You really feel the sub-bass note with each beat. They are distinct and create this smooth impact that you can actually feel in your ears. The sub-bass has a resonant feel, rising quickly and then fading out just as fast. It really stands out in bass-heavy music like dubstep, EDM, drum solos, where you need both clarity and power. The notes are strong and make a real impression, almost like they are reaching right through you. This might be some of the best sub-bass that Simgot has to offer. To give you a sense of the sub-bass, I picked Go by TNGHT. Right from the start, you get this layered, deepening sub-bass that keeps going lower. Even though the track is dynamic and intense, the Supermix 4 does a great job of keeping the sub-bass separate from other sounds, so it doesn't get all muddled up. The mid-bass is thick, controlled, and has a nice punch. It strikes a good balance keeping the bass in check, so it doesn't overpower other sounds. Within its stage, it's resonant and impactful. That said, I did notice the mid-bass sometimes gets a bit overshadowed by the deeper sub-bass, which grabs some of the attention. You can really hear how well crossover works in the lower frequencies. Each range is clear and assigned to the right driver. This separation keeps the mid-bass detailed and well connected with the sub-bass. Overall, it gives the IEMs a more open sound without any part stealing the spotlight. To test the mid-bass, I picked Fire by Barnes Country, which has a strong drums, guitars and low vocals. The Supermix 4 does a great job bringing out the drum depth and overall energy, making the listening experience pretty engaging. The lower mid-range is really nice and follows the Harman 2019 curve pretty closely. It gives you a natural vibe with a bit of warmth. Instruments and vocals have a lively and smooth feel, making the music enjoyable and full. I really love how the piano and guitar come across. They sound detailed and intimate. Vocals are soft, with a nice smoothness and just a hint of bass that adds a depth and emotion. Even though balanced armature are used here, they are performed surprisingly well, without the usual sharpness or metallic sound you might expect. So, the lower midrange on the Supermix 4 managed to hit that sweet spot of warmth and bass presence while keeping things natural and not overwhelming. To show off the lower midrange, I picked the God's Gonna Cut You Down by Christian Larsson. It's filled with rich vocals, a nice guitar and deep bass hits. The Supermix 4 captures this thick and captivating sound wonderfully. The Supermix 4 has a big balanced armature handling the mid-range, and it does a great job of providing natural and clear sounds. It's well balanced for both male and female vocals, avoiding the usual dullness or harshness that you sometimes find. The mid-range is positioned nicely in the soundstage, providing micro detail and clarity. Instruments come alive and sit behind the vocals, adding depth to the overall sound. When it comes to male vocals, these IEMs shines. They are clear and detailed, making complex sounds a real treat. You will notice every little detail, from the nuances of the voice to the breath in between. Listening to legends like Sinatra or Presley with this is just wonderful. If you love catching those tiny details and nuances in vocals, I would strongly recommend these. Female vocals are just as impressive, warm and detailed. They come across with a nice touch of liveliness and airiness, making them feel vibrant. I picked The Silence by Manchester Orchestra as an example of male vocals because it's a tough and very emotional song. The vocals change a lot in tone and intensity, and the Supermix handles this perfectly. It's like each vocal part is a Lego brick, clear and distinct, but still smooth and natural, with nothing sounds like fake. When you add in the instruments, it's just captivating. For female vocals, I choose Carla Morrison's live performance of Disfruto. This song shows off her beautiful voice, full of charm and flow, perfectly paired with an energetic guitar and piano. It's definitely worth a listen. The upper mids are lively and dynamic, offering great clarity. This range feels light with a nice sense of airflow and open pauses, giving a vivid picture of the music. There's a nice boost around 2.5 kHz that adds some brightness and engagement. Instruments and vocals come through as full and lively, packed with detail but still feel natural, almost like they want to expand beyond the soundstage. To show off the upper mids, I picked Pump It by the Black Eyed Peas. This perfect track for these IEMs. The Supermix 4 nails it, capturing the sound speed, energy and detail from the instruments to the vocals. Everything feels lively and engaging, making the whole experience really enjoyable. The treble is managed by two drivers, a planar magnetic driver for the highs and a piezoelectric transducer for the ultra highs. This setup gives the treble a clean and airy sound that's balanced nicely, without being too harsh. It feels smooth and gentle, avoiding any sharpness or annoying sibilants. This might be the darkest model I've ever heard from Simgot, but don't let that fool you. Instead of being overly bright, they offer a more relaxed set sound that keeps the treble from being distracting. This choice really pays off. The notes are bright but controlled, fading away smoothly without any rough edges. The treble sounds natural and well defined. To showcase the treble, I picked the emotional song Stay With Me by Sam Smith. This track has high vocal notes that come across smoothly instead of harshly, but at the high point of the vocals and cymbals there is a nice sparkle that adds some extra emotion and depth. The soundstage is spacious and layered, kind of like being in a big concert hall where every instrument and the vocalist have their own room to breathe. These IEMs are quite analytical, so you can really pick up on every detail in the vocals, putting together the music like a puzzle. Each sound is easy to identify and sits neatly in its own spot. The Supermix does a great job of making it simple to tell where each sound is coming from. I would definitely recommend these IEMs for gamers, whether you're into FPS or TPS games. They perform great with their wide soundstage and focus on mid-range, which brings a lot of immersions, clear separation and accurate sound positioning. They are perfect for both casual and competitive play. In conclusion, Simgot keeps surprising us with cool new stuff, smart engineering and careful tuning all in comfy design. The Supermix 4 brings all this feature together better than ever. This is more just a hybrid, this is really a Quadrib in a compact size, combining a dynamic driver, balanced armature, planar magnetic and the piezoelectric transducer. All four drivers work together, giving you smooth, balanced sound that's a bit on analytical side. With this model, Simgot has fixed past issues by balanced frequencies, refining the treble and taking the best part from their earlier models. The analytical sound comes from the EA500LM, the shape and acoustic design from EM6L and the driver setup from EW300, which they improved here. The Supermix 4 ends up being a standout piece with great clarity, high resolution and fine details across all frequencies. It's perfect for anyone who loves to dig into music, catching every little detail and finding new layers in their favorite songs. Plus, it's a solid choice for audiophiles and gamers who care about precise sound and wide soundstage. Alright guys, that's it for today's look at Simgot Supermix 4. Many thanks to the Simgot team for sending Supermix. We really appreciate that. You guys are incredible in your ideas for creating IEMs. It's always interesting to see you push the limits of sound. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment. I would love to hear what you think about this crazy driver combo. As always, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care and bye bye!